Let me take you to the sea of brilliance. In this position, my brother and sisters, black is 2 pawns up, but it's up-scored bishops, and if white manages to get the king on e3, it will be a draw. Because many times in up-scored bishops, even 3 pawns are not enough to win. So our idea is to go king a5, king e4, and king e3 and win the game, because the king will support both of those pawns. That will be GG. But the problem is that if you go something like pawn f3 here, 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 and the king will land on the critical e3 square, and that will be a draw. So we need something concrete and romantic. In this position, black had the audacity of hope to make their name immortal to the end of time and go bishop h3. Stop it, baby. Sacrifice the bishop to gain this amazing tempi to put the king on e4, and that white won't be able to get their king on e3. The road is super duper fast now. They have to check if they play king f2, trying to put the king on e3, then king f5. Stop it, baby. Here in king e4. Are you not entertained? King e3, then we just take with the bishop. That's GG. After bishop h3, my brother sisters, g takes h3, king f5, king f2, king e4. Now the king is supporting those amazing passers. Bishop takes f6, d4, bishop e7, stopping the rookie pawn. If king e2, then the pawn cannot be stopped. King d3, very important, the king to go to the c2 square. Bishop d4, king c4 attacks the bishop. Bishop e7, king b3 supporting the pawn. King here, and now super duper important move, king c2, my friends. And now this is just unstoppable. Bishop b4, d3, king here, a3, and we just deflect, and that is all sure. Best move for white was to resign. Are you not entertained? In this position, my brothers and sisters, you can see that h7 is hanging, but if you play something like e5, that's f5, queen takes h5, and the queen is losing. So yeah, so we need something concrete, and here white plays a memorizing, beautiful, romantic, brilliant, which is rook f6. Stop it, baby. Sacrifice the rook, so after king, bishop takes f6, e5, my brothers and sisters, and there is no pawn push to blockade, and that is all she wrote. Are you not entertained? There's just no defense stop. Absolutely no defense stop. Queen h7, king here, checkmate, king here, checkmate. The bishop cannot go bishop f5, so you sacrifice the rook and stop f5 and then push e5. Rook f6, king g8 was played. Now e5 protects the rookie and still discovers attack on h7, h6, and now we just play pawn e2, my brother and sisters, and best move for black was to resign, because all they have to sit in the way is pawn g3, pawn f5. The pawn is hanging, rook here is happening. They can never take it. The queen takes h6, and they'll get mated. It's just beautiful. Just rook f6 is so romantic. In this position, my brother and sisters, you can see black last move was the blunder, because now the queen is overburdened protecting the f3 bishop and the critical d7 square. So what do we do here? We remove the defender of the d7 square by doing what? By sacrifice the queen. Queen takes f3, my brother and sisters. As the queen takes f3, we go pawn d7 check. Behold, other points controlling c8 square. King a8, pawn c6, discover a check. The only way to blockade with the pawn, but then that's a loss, pawn b6. And are you not entertained? What a beautiful aesthetic pony mare. In this position, my brothers and sisters, black is up on 0, but their position is kind of shaky, so they have to do something concrete, and e2 will be hanging. And here, my brothers and sisters, remember that tactics comes in position of strength, and all black pieces are active, so there has to be something romantic, and indeed there is. It's rook takes g2, sacrifice the rook to move to decoy the king to the g2 square, king to g2, now what? Resign? No! Queen h3, deflection, decoy, you name it. The king has been worded out of his shell, and it has to take us after king g1, rook f2. Stop it, baby. Are you not entertained? Queen g2 isn't stoppable. White has to give their queen. But the queen has to be taken, but that's test easy because it's queen up, but then pawn e3. It's imperative to control the g2 square, and that's discovered check by the bishop. So king h4, my brothers and sisters, and now what is the move here? Pawn e g2. The geometry between black pieces is aesthetic. King g5, rook f5 check, king here, h5 check. Keep checking, king here, and now what is the nail of the coffin? Is rook f2, my brothers and sisters. Bishop delivers checkmate, the rook protects the pony, and the pawn control, and the pawn controls the h4 square. GG. Are you not entertained? Position, my brothers and sisters. Black plays king f7. Their dark squares are super duper weak, but black has them covered. The rook is kind of overburdened protecting those two squares, and there's no queen d5 check because of the bishop. But now we use the tactic, intervening tactic, and here white had the audacity to go rook c6. rook c6, my brother and sister, sacrifice the rookie. After rook a6, then queen d5 is all she wrote. And after bishop takes c6 and queen e6 is all she wrote. So we are intervening one of those section squares, and that is all she wrote. And of course, after here we go queen. One of the most beautiful moves in the world, because the rookie can be taken 3 times, but none of them work. So romantic. Oh, my brother and sisters. And here white last move was point f7, was after king f7, queen d7. If I would win the white the game, but the king is kind of very weak, so black here had the audacity of hope to go. So brilliant! Sacrifice the queen, my brother and sister. Now the point can be taken with a rookie, and after point takes d8 takes the queen, of course. Bishop f2 check, fantastic move. King h3, d6 discovery check, d6 pawn a4, giving the check. Now king g4, pawn takes e6. See, not a check, a silent move, but now the king is getting made it. There's just no defense. The discovery check will be just disastrous for black, for white. But has to take the pony, bishop takes e6, and the king is just left alone. Rook f5 check, h5 check, rook f3, and that's all she got. The discovery check, delivers the checkmate. Incredible, my brothers and sisters. Pawn a4 and pawn e6. It's imperative to open the diagonal for the light square bishop, otherwise we cannot make it. Take on d5, then we just take out of here, then we go queen g5 check, my brothers here. We go d5, and that is all sure. Now in this position, my brothers and sisters, white is a pawn up. The king is kind of not that safe, because major pieces are on the queen side, and back pieces are super duper active. And that's contribution of strength, we know that. So in this position, black is in complete strength, and they have fantastic move to open the g file, and that starts with pawn f3, sacrifice the pony, my brothers and sisters. And for the freaky dicky forky, king h8 will drop the bishop, so white has to take the bishop, and then bishop f8 and bishop g3, and it's kind of holding on, right? The bishop is holding, but it's very important that the f pawn is pinned. So what do we do here? The g file is everything. We are pulling down. We need to do something concrete, and it is. It is to sacrifice the queen. Queen take g3. Are you not entertained? The most important thing is that f takes g3 will take the king. After h takes g3, rook takes g3, king h2, and bishop takes f2, my brothers and sisters. And behold, there is no defense of rook h8 and gg. Are you not entertained? I ask you. Is this not what you came for? There is just no defense. Best move to resign. And of course here this just ends the game here. That's checkmate. So romantic, my brothers. Starting with pawn f3 and then sacrificing the queen, and then hoping for the rook h8 mate. It's incredible. In this position, my brothers, black was a mistake, it's indicated, and now we're gonna use a tactical pattern between delivering a checkmate with pins and pawn and rook. What do we do here? We go amazingly fantastic move. Queen g6, sacrifice the queen. Are you not entertained? And after h takes g6, my brothers, we go pawn takes g6, and suddenly there is no defense of rook h8. Oh, what? You noticed? Because I didn't notice. Thanks for letting me know. After g6 takes the rookie time to resign. No. Bishop takes c4, deliver check of the king. The rook is controlling the h file, but on the way is king f8, and then behold, we deliver morphy. I cannot stop brilliant things. This is romantic, incredible romantic game. Starting with queen takes g6, incredible game by white, and pawn takes g6, and deliver checkmate. This incredible game, my brother and sister, is from Alien Gambit, my invitation, and black was move was pawn b6 because the pawn was kicked. Now queen h4 would allow king f8, but what if the h6 pawn was hanging? So here white had the audacity to go bishop takes h6, stop it, baby, sacrifice the bishop, my dear friend. That's a g takes h. Now queen h4 is super strong, because after here we go queen takes h6 here, and checkmate. And after here queen g7 is Oshurot, the MVP. So after here queen h4, pawn f6 was necessary, and queen takes f6, here rook d8, pawn d5 to blockade. Then we just take the rook with check. Queen has taken 8 takes d5. Those guys are sleeping, and white is open 0. And what's the final touch here is rook takes d5. Stop it, baby, sacrifice the rook, because after here queen d6, checkmate in the game. Fantastic move, my brothers and sisters. And my dear friends, we reached top 1, and as you can see, black has 9 battery on the h1 diagonal. They're defending, but white cannot make more progress because pawn g5 is so tempting, but queen takes g2 would end the game for black's favor. To win something else, we need something concrete. We need our piece to attack. Everything is just so active here. What if I put something on h6 and then threaten mate on g7? Here, you get made on the right squares. Never works. What? What? King H2, of course, why not? Use your king, my brothers and sisters. Immortal by Nigel Shore. The king is hopping on H6, my friends. Are you not entertained? Black has nothing to do but sit and wait. King G3, king attack, bishop C8 attacks the rookie, my friends. And then, what is the move here? Queen G5, sacrifice the rookie, my dear friends. Bishop A7, king H6. Immortal Nigel Short has made a dent in chess universe for this game, and it will live to the end of times, my brothers and sisters. That was it, my friends. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to wash your hands, spread peace, love, and happiness, and most importantly, pray for peace in news and horror. See you in part 5.